Hi everyone, welcome to Science Out of Context. I'm Marcos Morgan, and today I want to share with you 5 of my favorite Twitter accounts. So people that are not big fans of Twitter usually tell me, I don't know how to use Twitter, I don't know where to start, and they say I don't get it, and that's completely normal. I believe a common mistake initially on Twitter is to follow big institutional accounts. So for me, the key to Twitter is to follow mid-sized accounts that do something related to your work, to your interest. When I encourage scientists to join Twitter, I recommend them these 5 accounts. So these are usually people in the field that tweet quite regularly, so you don't have to wait for hours. So here are the 5 tips to follow in science. The first one is Oded Rechavi. Oded is the life of science Twitter party. He posts hundreds of memes and puts science captions to many images that are going around the internet, and it's really, really hilarious. He's an RNA biologist and neuroscientist and has a research group at the University of Tel Aviv. And he tries to make science a little bit less structured, less formal. And for example, once he organized a spontaneous meeting at the beach in Tel Aviv via Twitter, and he reported on that. And he's back into doing more traditional things as well, like using a Blackboard instead of these PowerPoint things, and other sensible stuff that we maybe should reconsider. So in addition to think that he's very funny, he's a force moving forward the field. So that's Oded Rechavi. The second account is Tang. Tommy is Director of Computational Biology at Immunitas Technology. He posts about informatic methods, but also about transitioning from academia to industry. So if you like that, you might be interested in following him. He started his PhD as a wet laboratory person, then he moved for his postdoc to bioinformatics, and now he's fully working in industry. So he goes over many aspects of scientific life, ranging from applying to grants, and also very importantly, he provides input in how to manage a lab or a group, and always with very, very nice pointers to the resources. So that's Tommy Tang. The third tweet to follow is Rita Strack. She's an editor at Nature Methods. This is another example of a transition from academia to a non-academic scientific position. And I think it's always good to hear from scientists working in the publishing industry. She provides a fresh perspective to the other side of the publishing process. Rita is very active on Twitter. She writes about latest methods published in various journals, including Nature Methods, and very often with very instructive threads. She likes to cover various methods, especially microscopy, because she worked on that before. So if you are into microscopy, that's an extra bonus. So that was Rita Strack. The fourth tweet that I want to recommend is Jen Heemstra. So Jen is the chair of the Department of Chemistry at Washington University in St. Louis. She tweets about leadership in science. And so PhD programs and postdocs have become increasingly competitive, and the journey has become more and more challenging. So I think that we cannot afford poor mentorship anymore. So I see Jen as a mentor's mentor, which was very helpful for me in trying to put together a resilient group. So I guess that if you are a new PI, you should definitely follow her. And maybe it would be great if any active PI would follow her independently of how long they've been leading a group. So that is Jen Heemstra. And finally, the fifth tweet I want to recommend, and someone that I usually recommend, is Ewan Birney. Ewan is the director of the European Bioinformatics Institute, or EBI for short. EBI is a hub coordinating different bioinformatics efforts across Europe and provides services to the whole world. So for example, EBI hosts Ensemble, which you probably use if you are doing genomics or transcriptomics. What I like the most of this account is that are the threads, especially how Ewan puts into context the recent advances in computational biology, such as, for example, AlphaFold, which is a method to predict the structure of proteins. I often had the feeling that these threads are a summary of a coffee break conversation that Ewan has during big consortia meetings. It's like a sort of press conference about how the meeting went, but yeah, maybe that's just me. So that's Ewan Birney. Those are the 5 great accounts to follow among many others. If you want a more extensive list of people I follow, go to my list on Twitter and you can see more profiles in my public list. This is what I suggest people on my lab that are new to Twitter. And if you are into gene regulation, I also have a list for that. So please go and check it. Let me know in the comments what are the tweets that you like to follow. So that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and thanks for watching.